Hi, Cosmic. I think this is the first time you've been the first one in the chat. I could be wrong, though. Oh no, my lurk fishing is in the way. There we go. Gosh, it seems so empty without the stream goal up there, but I figured it was time to get rid of it because, you know, we're pretty much all wrapped up with it. The only thing left to do is if anyone wants to cheer more than Slow did, but I don't know that that's going to happen because she did an insane amount. Hi, Beans. How are you both doing today? I hope you've all been doing well. Me, I worked a half day and then, I don't know, I kind of didn't do a whole lot else the rest of the day. You're pretty good, Beans? Oh, would one of you mind testing the, I don't think I got it working, but, would one of you mind trying out the gamble command in chat? I was kind of working on it, but I don't know if it worked. You just have to do like exclamation mark gamble and then a space and however many channel points you want to do. Actually, I guess I could test it myself. I don't know if it works with me though. Let's see. Gamble 100. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to play around with it some more. I wasn't finding any really good tutorials telling me how to do it, but I'll try to get it set up for you guys soon enough. Everything I was seeing said, oh, it's easy, you just have to enable it, and here I am, and it's still not working. But, you know, I'm not the most technically savvy cat girl out there, so I'm sure I'm just missing something really obvious. You tried a cider beans and it was tasty? Nice. Was it a store-bought cider or did you make it yourself? And I don't know what the drinking age over there is, but if you're over the drinking age, was it an alcoholic cider? Okay, store-bought. Yeah, my brother likes alcoholic ciders quite a bit. That's his preferred alcoholic beverage. I don't drink any alcohol though, so I wouldn't know. Maybe I should try some non-alcoholic ciders though. They always seem really good. I haven't had one in a really long time though. Today we are going to we're going to read some SCPs. I have a nice little list of them and I'm hoping they'll all be pretty good. 3 of them are like vaguely connected. Beans, you had a can that was alcoholic, but it was technically illegal and illegal. Illegal and legal. Oh, because it was supervised. Okay. And you didn't chug it. Very nice. What, let me close some stuff here. All right. What is the drinking age over there? I don't know if it's different from what it is in the States, because here it's 21. It was a Hunter's Dry Cider. You don't know if that's... I don't know either, honestly. Oh, so you're really close to the drinking age anyway, right? Well, that's not too bad then. I don't think anyone's gonna get too bent out of shape about that. Oh, 2 months. Very close. I'll have to try and remember that so I can wish you a happy birthday. Let's go ahead and start reading our first entry, though. The first one we're going to read today is SCP 439, which I believe was codenamed the Bone Hive. And let me actually take a quick drink to knock down the hydration debt a bit before I start. That reminds me, I also I'm going to be messing around with some of the like redeems and stuff. I changed around some of the prices or for the channel point redeems. And for hydrate in particular, I actually put in a limit per user per stream. So now you can only do hydrate 5 times in a stream, and that limit is separate for everyone. So one person can do it 5 times, and then someone else could do it 5 times if they wanted to. I don't know if that'll still be too much, but I guess we'll find out. We'll give it a try and kind of, we'll see how things work. Don't worry, you're going to be bouncing off the walls all of November. You get really excited about your birthday. Where do you find these? The SCP articles. So these ones, you can just go to the SCP Foundation, and this one in particular, I think was recommended by a viewer. It was on the list that Derpy was keeping for me. But a lot of the other ones today, I just kind of found by, scoping out the website. A bit eepy, but okay. Well, maybe we'll put you to sleep with our narrations. That would be a pretty nice goal to have. Hi, Brayden. How are you doing? Got that right, Astral? You mean about putting y'all to sleep with the narrations? Yeah, because they're so boring. That's why. I put you guys to sleep because I bore you. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll try to give attention to chat probably between each section. So like after the containment procedures, after the description, stuff like that. Otherwise, if it seems like it needs quicker attention, I might just stop after a paragraph or something, but we'll go that way. I've found that I don't like to interrupt the flow of the stories as much. But I also like to keep tabs on you guys. So it's hard to find that balance sometimes. You're running the spilled beans camo on your setup. Oh, in Call of Duty. We'll take a pic. Yeah, it'd be interested to see that. All right, let's get started. SCP-439. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Specimen is to be kept at Armed Research Site 45. Hazardous Life Forms Wing in a sealed, locked 38-liter, that's 10-gallon, Type G containment unit with connected oxygen supply. Specimen is to be fed through feeding tube 16A with approved nutritive substance XF. Handling is available to level 2 personnel and higher. Hi, Derpy. Oh, you were too sucked into a book? That's okay, Derpy. You got here just in time for the beginning. We just finished the containment procedures for SCP-439, and we're just about to get into the description. You doing good, Derpy? That's good to hear. Alright, description. SCP-439 is an insect of unknown origin, somewhat resembling a grayish, semi-translucent Forficula auricularia, common earwig. Approximately 2.5 centimeters in length. Originally located/obtained in mainland China in the redacted province. No other specimen has been found as of yet. SCP-439 is relatively harmless when encountered on safe terms, aside from the ability to deliver a firm, painful pinch with its abdominal forceps. The true hazard this creature poses lies in its habitat construction and reproduction, which is initiated when the specimen enters the mouth of a sleeping human. This will only occur in humans. Other life forms have been presented to SCP-439 and have been uniformly rejected. Upon location of a suitable host, the specimen will hide itself in the immediate vicinity and wait until the victim has fallen asleep. How it is able to determine the state of sleep is unknown, but it has shown to be accurate in data expunged times out of data expunged. Upon entering the mouth of the new host, SCP-439 will travel down the trachea and take up residence in one of the victim's lungs. In approximately 4 to 8 hours after awakening, the host will complain of chest pains and shortness of breath, followed shortly by abdominal cramping. The tightness in the chest will increase as well as a fever until the host is incapacitated. It is around this time that the onset of fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, FOP, occurs, a disorder that is normally genetic in nature that promotes growth of bone into the subject, or growth of bone into muscle tissue. Since the production of new bone growth is so rapid, the procedure is also quite painful for the host. For the subject, since the production of new bone growth is so rapid, the procedure is also quite painful. Oh, okay, let me go back a bit. I think I got some lines mixed up. Okay, so we have, since the production of new bone growth is so rapid, the procedure is also quite painful for the subject, with new bone spurs occasionally protruding through the flesh. While this is happening, the host will become compelled to seek shelter in a darkened, enclosed space, such as inside household cabinetry, closets, or heating ductwork. Within the first 3 days of treatment, the host will become completely withdrawn and immobile due to the extreme pain of new bone growth coupled with difficulty breathing. At this point, the subject's body will begin the final stage of transformation into a, quote, bone hive. Having concealed itself in its new home, the body of the host will huddle in a fetal position. Entire portions of the skeletal structure will shift along data expunged until the host body is roughly spherical in nature and reduced to 3/4 its original size. New bone protrusions will continue to grow and, if possible, anchor the body permanently to its new location. The skeletal structure is almost completely unrecognizable, having been converted to a round, quote, cage to protect the internal organs and colony. At this point, transformation is complete. The original queen that entered the host will have produced 20 to 30,000 offspring that function as workers, drones, and warriors in a typical insect hive hierarchy. Since only the queen is capable of reproduction, the rest of the hive's inhabitants are fortunately harmless, save for large, strong abdominal forceps of the warriors. The interior of the original host is nearly unrecognizable as a human body. Certain organs are removed and used as food, while others are modified by the worker insects to serve as egg incubation chambers. An ingenious method exists of using the host's own digestive system to process pieces of organic materials collected by the warriors into a nutritive slurry that feeds both the colony and sustains the host hive structure. After 4 to 6 months, a new queen will emerge from within the ranks and choose a drone to mate with. At this point, the colony will destroy itself by rupturing data expunged, upon which the majority of the insects die. Workers and drones are unfit to survive outside the host hive, and warriors will abandon the site, wandering away, their tasks complete. No food will be consumed by warriors that isn't nutritive slurry produced by the hive of origin. The new queen will venture out, fertilized, to search for her own new hive. Incredibly, the trauma of evacuation is not what finally causes biological activity to cease in the hive, but starvation. All right, let me catch up on chat before we proceed to the addendum. And also, I am going to grab a quick drink of water. But I don't know if we gotta hydrate it all, so I'll wait to knock that down until I catch up on chat. Thank you all for being patient. Looks like we did have a few messages for me to catch up on. So let me do that real quick. Okay, we didn't go as far as I thought, actually. Oh my gosh, Nuria, Kia, I haven't seen you for a while. Actually, was it the last SCP narration night that we saw you in? I think that was probably the last time we saw you. I don't remember if you came all that much after that, but it's good to see you again. I hope you're having a great day. Hi, Bleach. How are you doing? Oh, you're doing good, Bleach. That's great. I hope you've been having a wonderful day. Oh my gosh, Cosmic, did you redeem that hydrate just so I wouldn't get further down my debt? Gosh, I thought you were on my side, Cosmic. Derpy, so how are you liking the SCP version of the Tooth Fairy? I don't know. Do you think this is like the SCP version of the Tooth Fairy? I don't know. Bleach, you just joined in the stream and the first thing you heard was fertilized. That's quite a thing to walk in on in a stream. Don't worry, it was all for education. Posture check. Thank you, Beans. I'm really bad about keeping my posture straight. You returned to your post as a doorman. Oh my gosh, hi Thee, it's good to see you. Just in time to listen to some stories. Is my body kind of tweaked? There, I think that's okay. How are you doing, Thee? Nuria, Xing, crossing? I don't know what you mean by that. Cosmic. Oh, unless you mean like Twitter X? The doing good but quite eepy. That does seem to be kind of a trend. I know, I think Cosmic said she was eepy too, which, makes sense given the time. Beans, how are you doing on your sleep? I've been kind of, not sleepy today, but it was definitely a mellow day after work. Bleach Cosmic is always eepy. Okay, that's fair. Although, granted, most of the time I see her, it's super late for her time, so she's just got that messed up sleep schedule. I say as though she's not right here. The cider. But sleepy SCP stories are perfect anyways. Well, that's good to hear, and maybe we'll get you to go to sleep a little bit. Your sleep has been fine? Had some nightmares? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Beans. I'm actually quite fond of nightmares. Obviously, they're stressful during it, but I like the reflection and memory of them. Bleach, that's your fault. Sorta, kinda. Cosmic, it is your fault. You're too cute. Well, this sounds like it's your fault, Bleach. There's no denying it. Alright, let's move on to the addendum. And then, after that, we will move on to... After that, we will move on to our next story. Well, not story, entry. Addendum. In a particularly disturbing development, Dr. Omitted performed a range of experiments to determine the extent of damage to the host body after it has finished the transformation into a hive. While it had been previously discovered in autopsy that portions of the brain are hollowed out to serve as food, others are left intact, presumably to regulate what bodily functions continue. During the last round of experimentation, Omitted took the opportunity to examine a hive at close range shortly after transformation. While the eyes are eventually reached and used as a food source, at the point Omitted performed her examination, they were still intact. Opening the eyelids and examining them with a flashlight, Omitted discovered that the host's eyes followed the beam. Experimentation was terminated and no further testing is scheduled. Well, that is pretty horrifying. That gets right to one of my deepest fears, which is loss of bodily autonomy. Kind of the whole... That's why the idea of sleep paralysis really terrifies me, because I can't control my body, as I'm sure it does a lot of people. But yeah, loss of bodily autonomy, no, that's horrifying for me. It's that and being buried alive. Those are two of my biggest fears. Let me get another hydrate real quick. Gotta keep my throat clear today. And that one, we will knock down the debt a little bit. We are with that hydration, we are down to 13, which is a good chunk higher than we were at before, but certain individuals last time, namely Nep, decided to bombard me with the hydrates. So that increased my debt. I could not keep up. All right, let's catch up on chat. Oh yeah, and I was going to show you guys real quick. This is the picture of the advanced stages of FOP. So let me switch the screen to that real quick, just so you can get a look. Yeah, right there. Not very pretty. Oh, let me get the bigger picture. There you go. Yeah, so that is what it looks like when they get down to those latter stages of the transformation. Uh-oh, come back. There we go. Oh, no, maybe not. Come on. Oh, why is it not showing up? Goodness. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't showing up, but it's here now. Let me catch up on chat and we'll move on to the next story. Beans, you never remember your nightmares or your dreams in general? That's too bad. I got to a point where I wasn't remembering my dreams as often as I used to, and that really made me sad because I always had very like odd dreams and I enjoyed remembering them. You like the nice dreams, but remembering them is so hard. It can be very hard to remember the dreams. I know there's different factors that affect how well you'll remember them, but we can't really help it all the time. Oh, you used to have a journal for writing them down. That does help a lot. Like if you can write them down as soon as you wake up, anything you remember, but they can start to fade really fast. Like I used to make notes of my dreams as well. I didn't have like a proper dream journal. I just kind of kept some scraps of paper next to my bed. Um, but yeah, I'm not a fast writer, and so they would start to kind of fade from my mind as I was writing them, and I'm like, no, I need to remember. Hopefully the next entry is 5956. Let me see. I don't think we have that one. We could do that one next though. Um, is that gonna be one that has a lot of a big rabbit hole for us to go down though? Let me type it in real quick because I do have some others lined up, but we don't get to see you here very often, so I feel like we should take advantage of it. Let's do new tab. And what is that number? 5956. Let's take a quick look at that. Beans both never have been able to remember dreams or nightmares. That would make me so sad if I couldn't remember. Okay, let's see here. Oh, this looks... Okay, this one looks like this has some stuff to do, and it's definitely got the visual element. I think we're gonna save this one for a future reading, Nuria. Because this is one I think I'll have to prepare for a little, because I will want to show you guys some of this. Derpy, are you still here, or did you get taken away to other stuff? Would you mind making a note of 5956 for us, please? All right, we'll close that screen. All right, let's see. Where was I? Oh, writing dreams down mainly trains you to remember them, so the fading from memory slows down with time. That kind of makes sense, because, like, I've had my memory for retaining... my memory retention from my dreams. When I haven't focused on remembering them, writing them down and stuff, it does tend to fade during those periods, so that makes a lot of sense. Nuria, your dreams are rarely whack. Do you like that or no? I don't like the boring, like, everyday life dreams. I'd rather have it be like something really out there and even scary. It's much more fun to remember. Thank you, Derpy. Fun fire. Hi, Pie Man. It's good to see you. I hope you're ready to listen to some SCP entries. Yeah, I like the fireplace. I wish it was a little louder though, so you guys could hear it better. I don't think it shows up all that well, the noise on stream, but I really do love this world. It really sets the mood for creepypastas and SCPs and the like. But I hope you're having a wonderful day as well, Pie Man. Okay, let's start our next one. We are going to read SCP 8593, Pasta with Fazool. And this one has a picture as well. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Right, so this picture is the title card featuring SCP-85931, who is the host of the show, presumably Fazool. So let me show you guys that picture. Okay, we'll just stick with that one. That works. So that is what we will be reading about next. This is a real cooking show with a human host. New York Times. That's a glowing review. I'm excited to watch. All right. Let's get into our story. I keep calling them stories, but they're really not. They're just entries. Oh, hi Connor. How are you doing today? It's good to see you again. I hope you've been having a wonderful day today. I hope you like SCP stories because that's what we're reading. Well, Pie Man, we've not quite been going in order, but yeah, that would be pretty impressive. It'll make it much harder for me to keep track of what we've already read, jumping around like this. But I kind of do a mix of whichever ones look interesting to me, and then suggestions from all of you. Have fun lurking, V. I hope you enjoy the stories. Oh, you got up to watch stream? Connor, that's so sweet. Thank you. Hi, Nate. Good to see you again. Oh, you haven't been Oh, you were sleeping, Nate? That's okay. I'd much rather you guys get the sleep you need than, just pop in and watch little old me reading stories. Sleep is way more important. All right, let's get started. SCP-8593. Oh, quick drink before we start. We are making progress on our debt. Right, let's mark that down on the hydration counter. So we're down to 12. Nope, we are just about to do the pasta one, Nate. Which, I guess it's good that you just showed up. I saw you marked the spaghetti, so I figured you were excited for that one. Alright, here we go. SCP-8593, Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All broadcasts of SCP-8593 are to be promptly removed from public view and recorded by Site-322 archivists. Foundation web crawlers are to scrape and eliminate any references to SCP-8593 from online sources. Containment specialists are actively searching for the origin of SCP-8593 broadcasts and the location of SCP-85931. Containment of SCP-85931 will proceed upon the completion of these investigations. Derpy, you like to imagine you're in the Wanderer's library while you're reading these entries. See, I don't know enough about the like behind the scenes lore of the Foundation anymore, but that does sound very intriguing. That sounds like a nice way to envision it. Oh, Beans, you going to bed already? Well, good night, Beans. I hope you get plenty of sleep. It was good to see you for at least a little bit. And if you're interested in the stories, you can always check out the VOD later. But sleep well, Beans. Alright, let's continue with the description. SCP-8593 is a series of television broadcasts for the show Pasta with Fazool, a cooking show focused on Italian-American cuisine. SCP-85931 hosts SCP-8593 and is a victual, meaning... Come on, give me the footnote. Victual means food-based. Gosh, it's all the way at the bottom, sorry. Is a victual humanoid entity self-identifying as Fazool Cavatelli. SCP-85931's body is composed entirely of dry pasta. Its torso is constructed from a bundle of spaghetti, while 2 pieces of penne form its arms. SCP-85931 possesses human hands, which are incongruent with the rest of its composition. Oh, just give me a sec. Sorry, I had some, my roommates being kind of loud outside my door. Sorry about that. Let me catch up on chat while I'm here. Nate, you forget it. Isn't it just a library with some SCPs in a similar case to the back rooms in simple terms? Astral becoming the pasta. No, I don't want to be a pasta girl. Alright, let's continue. Where was I? SCP-85931 possesses human hands, which are incongruent with the rest of its composition and each other. Its head is a large meatball, capable of limited facial expressions and speech in English. SCP-85931's outfit changes between episodes, though these changes appear limited to commonly colored or patterned aprons and matching toques. SCP-85931 appears on SCP-8593 as a poorly keyframe animated puppet, a characteristic never acknowledged by it or any of its guests, who treat it as a baseline human while also recognizing that it's composed entirely of food. It moves with jerky, unnatural movements, with parts of its body often disconnecting from each other. SCP-85931's hands constantly change size, shape, and skin color to accommodate different gestures or movements. Despite this, SCP-8593 can interact with physical objects, including human guests and various cooking utensils. Lighting does not affect SCP-85931, giving it a flat, two-dimensional appearance at all times. Despite SCP-85931 claiming SCP-8593 is focused on Italian-American cuisine, all presented materials, including recipes, origins of said recipes, and Italian history, differ significantly from any traditions known on Earth. No source for SCP-8593 broadcasts has been discovered. And then we're going to move on to an episode catalog in the addendum. Derpy. Basically, the Wanderer's Library is an extra-dimensional library that has every book that haven't yet, and will never be written. It's also where the group of interest, the Serpent's Hand, gather. Kind of sounds like the Library of Babel. IRL, it's also a branch website to the Foundation, so writers can write supernatural literature as if they are the world. Interesting. Might have to check that out sometime. I feel like I've been told about it before, though. Alright. Addendum 8593.1. SCP-8593 Episode Catalog. Episode 1, Segment 1. Dish, Fettuccine Alfredi. Baseline counterpart, Fettuccine Alfredo. Notes. SCP-85931 gathered 12 men of various ages named Alfred or Alfredo, proceeding to dump the uncooked ingredients used in Fettuccine Alfredo on them. After digging its finger across the arm of the third Alfredo and tasting its, quote, dish, SCP-85931 handed each man $10, receiving positive responses from all when it asked, same time next week, right? And that's the end of episode 1. Or at least what we have. I don't know if these episodes are complete. Sorry, another drink of water. These narrations are making me thirsty today. Nate, the sculptor of OG-173, just turning the entity into the new 173 would be a good story. So, were there old SCPs before the new ones? Or before what we currently have? We on 13 now? Next we are still on we've still got more episodes in the catalog to go through. So next is episode 8593.2, segment 1. Dish arancini. And I am probably butchering some of these pronunciations, so just bear with me. Sawi's not here to critique me on them. Baseline counterpart, arancini. Notes. This segment is almost entirely incomprehensible, starting with SCP-85931 pulling invisible objects out of a deep fryer. attempts to explain the dish lead to SCP-85931 trailing off into various non sequiturs and having to be reminded by the film crew as to what it's cooking. The camera lingering on the dish for more than a few seconds leads to exponentially visible distortions. SCP-85931 eventually calls the segment off as it grows more confused. Segment 2. The dish is Sfogliatel, maybe? Baseline counterpart, same thing. Notes. SCP-85931 spends the entire segment attempting and failing to pronounce Sfogliatel. I can relate. Segment 3. Notes. SCP-8593 also responded to a letter its production studio received. Transcript. Begin log. SCP-85931. So we'll just refer to that as Fazool for the purposes of moving the transcript along. Someone sent me a letter telling me that my recipes made no sense and were, and I'm quoting here, disgraceful. An unseen studio audience is heard booing. Part of cooking is taking criticism and seeing where I can improve. I wasn't mean or harsh, I was receptive. I sent this person, I'm not going to say their name, a letter back asking them to send me their favorite Italian-American recipe. So, the next dish I have to show you guys is Elaine Lorenzo from Syracuse's Spaghetti and Meatballs. You guys tell me what you think. First, we take 3 different ground meats, pork, veal, and beef, and mix them. The audience makes sounds of shock. Ladies and gentlemen, please just stick with me. We take these and we mix them together. SCP-85931 places the meats in a bowl and kneads them together with its hands. Someone in the audience is heard retching. Fazool. Now, we're going to take this food and roll them into spheres. Clap if you like spheres. The audience is silent. Interesting. Fazool rolls the meat into 24 meatballs. It proceeds to fry them in a cast iron pan. I have some marinara warming up in the pot. Folks, if you're squeamish, I'd recommend looking away. Fazool moves the cooked meatballs into the saucepot. The audience makes a sound of shock. 2 are heard retching loudly, and 1 is heard screaming incomprehensibly. Fazool retrieves a plate of cooked spaghetti as the meatballs cook in the sauce. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will plate. With a ladle, Fazool receives spoonfuls of marinara and 3 meatballs, placing this on top of the spaghetti. The entire audience screams in apparent horror. I know, but we're people of science here, and we take all criticism on this chin. Should I try it? The audience loudly responds in the negative. Fazool. I don't particularly want to eat this either, but our unnamed person considers this her signature dish. I think it's only fair. Fazool cuts into the meatball with a fork, piercing it, then twirling the prongs around the spaghetti, picking up a few pieces. It then places the food in its mouth. Someone in the audience is heard crying. Fazool vomits off screen. What sick person would serve this and call it Italian-American cuisine? Elaine Lorenzo from Syracuse. Leave this stuff to the experts next time. The audience claps loudly. I'm going to clear this out, and when we return, I'll be making some delicious risotto. For all my married people in the audience, I hope you took those vows seriously. End log. I would really kind of like to see these episodes actually, like, acted out. I think that'd be kind of entertaining. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean, Nate. It was changed from a licensing issue. That was the, Peanut or whatever. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh, you put it in the Discord? Okay, I'll check later then. Thank you. All right. Episode 8593.3. Segment 1. Dish Spaghetti Pugliese. Baseline counterpart Spaghetti Bolognese. Notes: SCP-85931's hands are replaced by boxing gloves. The segment follows SCP-85931 in the wild, fighting the sentient ingredients used in spaghetti bolognese. After nearly being beaten to death by the final ingredient, a large carrot, SCP-85931 returns back to the kitchen set. A stagehand appears on the screen, whispering to SCP-85931. It responds, "Puglia is a place?" And "It sounds too close to pugilism. I think most people would make that mistake." SCP-85931 exits the frame in apparent anger. Segment 2. Dish Calzone. Baseline counterpart Calzone. Notes: SCP-85931 stands silently on a cattle pasture for 30 seconds. It then states, "I'm in the cow zone." Segment immediately ends. Guys, I want to visit the cow zone. It sounds very meditative. Episode 8593.4. Segment 1. Dish Shrimp fra diavolo. Baseline counterpart Shrimp fra diavolo. Notes: this recipe for the most part is in line with normal shrimp fra diavolo. SCP-85931 is joined by a humanoid entity resembling contemporary depictions of the devil, which stares at SCP-85931 for the entirety of its time and doesn't move. Segment 2. Transcript Begin log. We should do an SCP Night of Cat or cat-like entity. That might be kind of interesting. I'm gonna keep that in mind. That's an interesting idea. Thank you, Nate. Right. SCP-85931. And I'd like to thank my dear friend, Mr. the Devil, for joining us today. What did you think of the dish, Lucifer? The entity resembling the devil does not respond. That's great. The entity vanishes in a plume of smoke. Alright, our next segment. Stagehand. We just got an email. SCP-85931. Go ahead. Stagehand. It's from Janine in Utah. She says, "I cannot believe what I'm seeing on the Food Network. My family and I tune in every afternoon after my kids get home from school, and I'm appalled by the blatant use of demonic symbolism in your programming. This is absolutely disgusting and completely contrary to the values we uphold in our home. I refuse to support a network that promotes such inappropriate content. I will be taking my viewership elsewhere and expect a formal apology for this offensive display." SCP-85931. Triangulate the IP. Stagehand. We can't just do that. SCP-85931 walks off stage. SCP, and then he says, triangulate it. A cut. SCP-85931 is standing at the door of a suburban house. It knocks. A woman in her early 40s answers. Janine Johnson. Hi, Janine. Johnson. What's... SCP. Cook for me. Johnson. What? You have things to say about how I run my show and cook my meals. You should cook for me. I'm not going. Cook for me. Are you going to let me finish my sentence? Yes, just did. Okay, I'm not. Cook for me. I'm calling the police. Johnson slams the door in SCP-85931's face. SCP-85931 bangs on the door. You're so much better than me, huh? Cook me something, Janine. Cook me something. A bleep sensor is heard for 43 continuous seconds as the film crew moves away from SCP-85931, who is still banging on the door and screaming. SCP-85931 kicks a garden gnome and approaches the film crew. And, that's why we leave it to the professionals, ladies and gentlemen. SCP-85931 moves out of frame. Mumbling. Censored. Stupid censored. Thinks she knows what she's talking about. I'll run my censored show the way I always have. End log. I gotta tell you guys, it is hard to do the transcripts. Like, I want to keep it moving as much as I can, but I also want to make sure you guys get all the information from it. So it's kind of hard to balance that out sometimes, but I hope it comes off okay for you. Derpy? Oh, you guys are thinking of cat SCPs? I'll have to take a look at them. Make notes of them for me, Derpy. Alright. Episode 8593.5. Segment 1. Dish. Woke ziti. Baseline counterpart. Baked ziti. Notes. SCP-85931 prepares a baseline baked ziti. It makes various references to Frosty the Snowmanning this thing. After removing it from the oven, the entity places a top hat on the dish, which somehow causes it to gain sentience. The dish states that its pronouns are they, them, proceeding to go on a rant about Donald Trump as SCP-85931 nods its head in agreement with its various statements. Segment 2. Dish. Chicken Mussolini. Baseline counterpart. Chicken Marsala. Notes. SCP-85931 prepares a standard dish of chicken marsala, with the only oddity being the size of the chicken breast being 2 meters in length. SCP-85931 proceeds out of its set and into a busy city square. It places the dish down in the middle of the pavement. The segment continues for 2 more hours as various members of the public beat, shoot, and spit on the dish. SCP-85931 retrieves the dish, smells and tastes it, and then states, Perfetto. Episode 8593.6. Segment 1. Dish. Feast of the 7 Million Fishes. Baseline counterpart. Feast of the 7 Fishes. Notes. SCP-85931 enters the set panting, wearing the Santa hat instead of its toque. It states that it, the film crew, and the live studio audience will stay indoors for their safety. The show cuts to news footage of hundreds of massive fish swimming in the air through various metropolitan areas, eating fleeing members of the public. Segment 2. Transcript. Begin log. News footage cuts back to SCP in its kitchen set. SCP. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the recipes I had planned for today forced me to be outside, and you all know that won't work out, right? Applause from the audience. SCP. I don't want to get cabin fever, so my crew has decided that we're going to do a live Q&A from the questions and comments left on our Pasta with Fazool Facebook page. Give me the first one. Stagehand. From George in Iowa. Does this guy have any idea what Italian food actually is? SCP. Big talk coming from the guy in the known and real Italian-American stronghold of Iowa. Bet he's only been to an Olive Garden in his life. Give me something better. Are there actual questions, or is it just more of this? Stagehand. No, not really. We can do something else. SCP. No, I'm good. Next comment, please. Stagehand. This is Gary from New York. The woke mob has now infested our cooking shows. I can't even watch a guy make lasagna without being hit with a lecture on its pronouns. SCP. It was ziti. Stagehand. There's more. Food should be about cooking, not politics. And don't even get me started on that Antifa nonsense with that weird chicken dish. What a disgrace. SCP-85931. Long walk, short pier, Gary. Stagehand. You can't say that. SCP. Next comment. Stagehand. From Lorenzo in New Jersey. I've grown up in an Italian household my entire life. I raised my kids to be proud of their Italian heritage. How the Food Network is okay with peddling this inauthentic trash as Italian-American cuisine is insulting to my people. SCP. Yeah. They paid me hundreds of thousands of dollars because I have no idea what I'm talking about. That makes sense for $1 billion television network to do. Thanks, Lorenzo. I hope your kids didn't get your brain. SCP is visibly shaking. Stagehand. Do you? SCP. Nope. Keep going. Stagehand. From, Nikki in Pennsylvania. Looks like they're giving anybody a show on the Food Channel now. My nana would wipe the floor with this Fazool guy. He has no idea what he's doing. I've never seen this level of incompetence from any host, cooking or otherwise. SCP grabs a metal bowl and slams it into his head multiple times in quick succession. Throwing it into the audience and hitting a woman. The audience gasps. SCP. This is complete fucking horseshit. I'm putting my fucking ass in front of these cocksuckers every goddamn day, sweating and bleeding to give these fuckers entertainment every goddamn night. Fuck you. Fuck this. I get no goddamn appreciation. The audience boos. Stagehand. We're live, Fazool. SCP. It's censored, dipshit. Neil takes care of that. Stagehand. Neil got eaten by one of those fish on his way in. I told you this. SCP. Are you serious? Stagehand. Yes, that was all live, and the woman is bleeding. SCP looks to the audience. Fuck. End log. I think that was the best episode yet. Oh, Nate, are you just listing a bunch of the cat ones? Speaking of... Ooh. Nuria should do SCP-8500 next. Good space SCP. Let me see if that one's one we could read real quick. We got one more episode to read, and then I'll take a look at 8500. All right. Episode 8593.7, Segment 1. Dish. Penne alla Everclear. Baseline counterpart. Penne alla vodka. Notes. Footage for this video is taken with security cameras in what appears to be SCP-85931's house. Several hours appear to have passed, with the sunrise visible in the living room's curtains. SCP-85931 cooks a plate of buttered penne, chasing every few bites down with a shot of Everclear. It is rendered unconscious before finishing the dish. And that is the end of Pasta with Fazool. Honestly, I think that show should have been syndicated. Pure art. Connor, you don't know many SCP? Well, what are you thinking of these so far? I don't know if you were here for the first one, but I guess what do you think of Pasta with Fazool? It was a little out there. I should probably try to avoid transcript ones. They tend to be a little harder to narrate. But I quite liked it. I thought it was interesting. Not very creepy, but definitely interesting. All right, let me take a look at 8500 Nuria. Let's see if we can read that one. All right. 8500. And yeah, Connor, I also don't know a ton of SCPs, because when I originally got into them, there were a lot fewer than there currently are. Narration's really drying out my throat today. Yeah, Nuria, I remember you had a lot of knowledge of the SCP stuff last time we saw you. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Let's try that again. Oh, does this one? Oh, this is like a... Unless I'm in the wrong spot, this is like a big whole like game thing. SCP Santa Claus? Oh my gosh, we'll need to read that one around Christmas time. Alright, 8500 looks like one that I'll have to take another look at and prepare for. Because I think I'll have to show you guys stuff. Oh, did I read it wrong? Oh, 8800. Okay, I'm sorry. Alright, let's try 8800. Reception. Ooh, okay, let's see. Yeah, I think we can read this one. It's a little bit longer, but we should be okay for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do 8800 next. Special request from Nuria. Oh, hi Maria, it's good to see you. How are you doing today? Alright, so this one actually looks kind of different too. Let me show you guys. So this is how it looks, and I'll flip back to this screen every now and then so that you guys can see the pictures that it has. Alright, SCP-8800, Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class, Neutralized. Oh, I forgot to knock the hydration down one. Okay. Special Containment Procedures. A partial lifted veil scenario was declared shortly after the occurrence of SCP-8800 in cooperation with the Global Occult Coalition, primarily focused on addressing and resolving global satellite communication failures. All rocket launches have been delayed until further notice. Efforts to reestablish communications with facilities and installations outside the Earth's atmosphere are ongoing. Description: SCP-8800 is an anomalous event occurring on 29th of September 2023, in which the Earth's atmosphere spontaneously assumed exotic geometries, resulting in all physical matter becoming unable to cross the Kármán line. All attempts to reach higher altitudes have caused the traveling object to reappear elsewhere within the atmosphere at an inverted trajectory. Presently, only sunlight has been observed to be able to penetrate SCP-8800, as the apparent motion of the sun continues without aberration. Conversely, the moon, planets, and stars have not been observed since the occurrence of SCP-8800, as well as communications from all satellites, space stations, and other off-world facilities. Addendum 1. Subsequent Incidents and Phenomena. The Foundation and other normalcy organizations were notified of SCP-8800's occurrence after a SpaceX satellite launch spontaneously reappeared over the Korean peninsula, where it was shot down by U.S. surface-to-air missile installations in Incheon. While the United Nations successfully averted the resumption of the Korean War with assistance from the GOC, the trajectory of the launch and the disappearance of all-night sky objects prompted the declaration of a partial lifted veil scenario. Subsequent incidents related to SCP-8800 were fortunately less significant. Aside from mundane civilian protests, there were several documented cases of GOIs and POIs attempting to capitalize off the partial lifted veil scenario. The most notable of which was the sale of illegal esoteric drugs to members of the Baltimore Flat Earth Truthers Society, who had been rescued from an outlying equilibrium pointing in the stratosphere after they floated up there to check if the Earth was a flat circle this time. Multiple non-anomalous phenomena arising from the high influence of SCP-8800 was also observed. Geomagnetic anomalies transmitted along the exotic geometries of the atmosphere heavily disrupted the behaviors of animal populations, leading to out-of-season migrations towards ephemeral false magnetic poles. Addendum 2. Transmissions Archive. SCP-8800 abruptly ceased on 8th of November 2023, during which telecommunications systems worldwide suffered from catastrophic overload. The source of this incident was identified as a massive backlog of information and data transmitted towards Earth being received all at once, despite technological limitations on relevant infrastructure. An unmanned satellite launched shortly after confirmed the dissolution of exotic geometries as it successfully entered low Earth orbit. SCP-880 was henceforth reclassified as neutralized. Transmissions of extraplanetary origin received after the onset of SCP-8800 are currently being decrypted, organized, and archived by Foundation AICs. Excerpts from this rapidly expanding archive with inferred relevance to SCP-8800 are attached below. Thank you, Derpy. I will hydrate real quick. 85. Yeah, 8500 looked pretty interesting. But it definitely wasn't something that I could just narrate, unfortunately. All right. So the transmissions are as follows. Maybe sometime in the future, Nate, we can do an SCP-8500 stream. It's a little trickier for me to do stuff when I'm in here, so it might be after I get like the VTuber software more taken care of, so I don't have to be in actual VR. 21st century, International Space Station, low Earth orbit, September 29th, 2023. Borisov. Houston, this is Space Station. Do you hear us? I repeat, do you hear us? Audio becomes slightly muffled as Borisov leans away from the mic. Mogbeli, we may be having communications error presently. I can't seem to reach Earth. Mogbeli. Let me run some checks. Comms might be on the fritz again. Borisov. No chatter from Moscow also. Very unusual. I will try wide broadcast frequency. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Mogbeli. Yeah, I'm not seeing any errors on the diagnostics. Let me try the... No server connection. We can't make internet calls either. Borisov. I will inform Commander. Then we've got a still from the video. Still a video capture from Zvezda module. Mogensen. This is Commander Mogensen of Expedition 70 reporting from the ISS. Is anyone receiving us? Several seconds of radio silence. Anyone? A voice crackles through. Tang. This is Commander Tang of the Shenzhou 17 mission. We are reporting from Tiangong. I am sorry for my pronunciations of all of these. From Tiangong Space Station. We received the message of the International Space Station loud and clear. Mogensen. Oh, thank God. We seem to be experiencing severe communications failure with Earth. Have you managed to contact your mission control in the past 2 hours? Tang. We have not. Our last communication was cut short without warning, and we have been unable to receive updates from Beijing since. Given that we are not observing mushroom clouds presently, we fear worse things may be afoot. Mogensen. Understandable. We are of the same mind here on the ISS. This comm channel will be kept open in case of further developments. It's good to know there's still someone receiving out there. Tang. Likewise, we'll keep in touch. Right, and here is the Tiangong space shuttle as seen from the ISS. Furukawa. Commander, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is important. Mogensen. Go ahead, Furukawa. Furukawa. The video capture from the Zvezda model. Something's wrong. Mogensen. Receiving files. 3 images of our flyby over the Pacific. What am I looking for? Furukawa. These weren't taken during the same flyby. This is a collage of the past 3 flybys. Mogensen. But that would mean... Furukawa. The clouds aren't moving, Commander. Right. Now we've got an above-ground photo of Lunar Site 1 located in a lava tube below. I hope this is good enough for you guys as far as the pictures. Normally I would just want to pull them onto the stream, but it kind of doesn't work with the VR controllers all that well. So this seems like a better option. Lunar Site 1, Moon, October 1st, 2023. This is Com, Tech, Kogenbach, reporting from Lunar Site 1. I have been assigned to prepare updates for Foundation personnel back on Earth, and will be transmitting this message on all SCIP-net channels, with the understanding that an anomalous incident, tentatively designated SCP-8800, has compromised the Foundation's Earthside communications capabilities. It has been 1 week since the approximate occurrence of SCP-8800. Lunar Foundation administration voted in favor of implementing lifted veil protocols last night. Although this only amounts to informing the crew of the ISS and the Tiangong space station, a total of 10 people, of the existence of our lunar facilities and current state of affairs. Provisions for both mundane space stations should last for the duration of the mission periods, with additional supplies being organized from Foundation facility stockpiles if emergency resupply is needed. Investigative efforts regarding the current state of Earth are ongoing. A leading theory is that SCP-8800 is some form of temporal stasis, having frozen the planet. Although there is little we can do at present to test this, fortunately, SCP-8800 has seemed to only affect Earth below the Kármán line. Our outposts and space stations within Earth's system and around other planets remain unaffected and have also been briefed on the situation. This concludes the update. Com, Tech, Kogenbach, signing off. Lunar Site 1, Moon, October 29th, 2023. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? This is Com, Tech, Kogenbach, reporting from Lunar Site 1. It has been a month since the occurrence of SCP-8800, and we've yet to hear back from Earth since. The Daedalus Project has been initiated. The lunar sites are currently drafting outlines for expansion and infrastructure development, in some cases above and beyond the restrictions pertaining to the maintenance of the veil, although that really isn't important anymore. The crew members of the 2 civilian space stations have agreed to cooperate with us for the time being, given that their governments are functionally non-existent now. They're our closest eyes on Earth for the duration of their respective missions, after which they'll be ferried over to one of the lunar sites. We're still shortlisting their replacements. We still have no idea what happened on Earth. A probe was launched toward the planet earlier today. It disappeared upon entering the atmosphere and reappeared on the other side. It's still oscillating back and forth. Lunar Site 5 suspects it's a spatio-temporal anomaly. The consensus at 3 is that it's a hole in local reality, and 11 is trying to reconcile the two hypotheses. The rest of us are busy with carrying out the Daedalus Protocol. I realize that not everyone who will be able to receive this broadcast will have the necessary clearance for Daedalus Protocol documentation, but the idea is that even if Earth is lost, humanity will continue to reach for the heavens. The original protocol saw mass evacuations to off-world sites, an exodus into space in escape of a dying world. But there's no one to evacuate. There's only us, little more than 1,000 human beings scattered across the solar system. We're all that's left. I pray this won't be the case forever. Tech, calm, Coggenbach signing off. The audio from SCP-8500, Nate, has been playing the whole time on your side on accident, adding some kind of... Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. Like, I didn't notice the ambience was there until I, like, closed that window, and then I was like, oh, I didn't even realize the sound was playing. Lunar Site 1, Moon, September 21st, 2024. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? This is Com. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, this is a different one. This is Com Tech. Coggenbach reporting from Lunar Site 1. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of the occurrence of SCP-8800. Still no progress on bringing you guys back, unfortunately. We have at least 15 probes hovering through the planet, beaming back inconsistent telemetry and a grand total of 0 replies from Earth. Not sure if I should be proud of this, but the veil has technically fallen. The 10 civilians we retrieved have since joined our ranks, so technically the veil has been rendered moot. We've expanded our operations to the space stations, and we're planning to launch more as observation outposts. Looking into the possibility of rotating habitats near Earth, but that's a bit far off for now, seeing as we're barely self-sufficient. We do have a few Thaumiel-class objects up here making our lives easier, although we're working to diversify our food source since the ectoentropics we have up here don't scale up much. Did you know the Martian sites have already figured out how to grow potatoes in air bubbles on the bare Martian surface? But I digress. Our lava tube farms here on the moon turn out better yields. They say we'll be able to phase out reprocessed cake sludge within the next year or two. Can't wait. Tech, Com, Coggenbach signing off. Lunar Site 1, Moon, March 4th, 2032. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Com, Tech, Coggenbach again. At this point, they ought to just make me an official Earth liaison or something of the sort. In any case, things are changing up here. We finally moved out of the critical initial phases of the Daedalus Protocol. Every major facility on the moon is now entirely self-sufficient. Our food security is rock solid. Power has never been an issue, and our material resources are now sourced in-house or from captured asteroids. Life has become much more comfortable for the average Lunarian. Oh, right. We've started calling ourselves that. Honestly, I prefer the term Selenites, but the naming vote was won by the Lunarian camp. Tragic. In the case of some sites, we've begun focusing on population growth. Organically, at that. None of that hominid replicator nonsense. Long-term parental leave and some really good postnatal care can do wonders. Most of the heavy lifting is done by drones and AICs regardless, so we've all got more free time nowadays. In fact, my wife and I are expecting. We're still butting heads over who gets to name the kid. May the stronger mother win. But enough about me. In terms of updates on SCP-8800, we're still not seeing anything we can act on. The Earth is there, always has been. But we can't enter its atmosphere or interact with it at all. Like a mirage shimmering on the horizon, but always out of reach. Some of us have begun accepting that Earth may not be returning anytime soon. We actually stopped transmitting official progress reports to Earthside some time back. But not me. I'll be here waiting, no matter what. Calm, Tech, Coggenbach signing off. Konshu Settlement, Moon, May 11th, 2040. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? My name is Konstantin Borisov, former cosmonaut, genius farmer. I am transmitting from the first civilian settlement on the moon. Is good day. Martian Site 6, Mars, December 25th, 2073. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? A Merry Martian Christmas from Martian Site 6. Right, and next we have Avalon Station, Asteroid Belt, March 13th, 2125. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Ganymedean Area 103, Ganymede, Jovian Satrapy. October 18th, 2182. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Mercurian Site 45, Hermetian Satrapy. May 6th, 2274. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Xanadu, Titan, Cronian Satrapy. August 31st, 2300. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Kuiper Outpost 312, Kuiper Belt. July 4th, 2427. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? And then I am not sure what this picture is supposed to be, but there it is. And then we've got this one as well. Yeah, it doesn't have captions for either of those, so I don't know what they're supposed to be, but I figured I'd show them to you guys nonetheless. Kuiper Outpost 856, Kuiper Belt, May 5th, 2444. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? There's something lurking out here, requesting new 7th Squadron to investigate and run to intercept. Tangaroa, Triton, Neptunian Satrapy, January 14th, 2452. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? 24 squadrons currently assembled for Kuiper Task Force operation. A bit much, but better overpowered than undergunned. New 7th sacrifice will not be in vain. We will ensure. It can be broken. It can be killed. We got a couple more pictures here. Again, no captions. Titanian Site-51, Titan, Cronian Satrapy. January 14th, 2454. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? Xanadu settlement compromised. The Cronian Satrapy is lost. We have evacuated everyone we could. Site-51 suffering critical damages. Do not send rescue squadron. Squadron's no longer effective. Olympus Mons Defense Platform, Aryan Satrapy. January 5th, 2457. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? The threat draws nearer, yet nearer. I can feel it in the dark corners of my skull. I was there when Neptune fell, and it burned itself into me, and I know, not fear, that I will not return from the next engagement. Our weapons are primed. We would fire our arrows from the tallest peak in the solar system if they would rid us of this evil as they strike true. But they won't. May Gaia deliver us from this calamity. Then, here's another picture. Oh, wrong one, sorry. Another picture for you all. Hi, Mew. It's good to see you. We're just reading some SCPs tonight. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. SCPS Andreas Mogensen, Low Earth Orbit, September 29th, 2458. Tales from the Cricket. Yeah, we're going through the SCP files, and they've been all right. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. They've been kind of iffy for me personally, but I don't know. Sometimes I think the SCPs are better left independently read. It's nice to listen to the narrations too, but they're a little harder to narrate than a traditional story, at least for me. You're doing good, Mew? Just finished 3D printing and walking the dog? Aw, I hope Scrump had a good walk. Right. Good morning, Earth. Are you receiving us? I am Grand Admiral Mariah Kogenbach, the 13th, commander of the 13 Armadas. This day I am charged with the defense of the solar commonwealth of planetary satrapies by the foundation of all mankind. This day we stand defiant against the scourge in the dark, the serpent slithering between stars, the static, scheming our extinction. We are tested again by the powers that be, that covet our prosperity so. We shall fight valiantly as we did against static, incursion, and the Ptoleman swarm. Audio corruption increases in intensity. We have gathered here the pinnacle of human firepower and ingenuity. We must crush the enemy before us, lest we all die in the dark, and should any soldier fall in static, honored, a sacrifice for something sacred, something that burns in the hearts and minds of the entirety of our civilization. Static on recording for several seconds. And in the end, may Earth receive us all. Addendum 3. Post-neutralization exploration. Derpy, you 3D printed a dog. Multiple attempts to establish contact with off-world infrastructure were made shortly after SCP-8800 ended, although none were successful, being met with complete radio silence. A survey of the solar system was conducted to evaluate its current state and locate key personnel who are off-world for the duration of SCP-8800. An abridged log of their findings is attached below. Personnel with sufficient clearance may apply for access to the full database here. And that doesn't seem to be opening. Analysis. Oh yeah, sure thing, Mew. Analysis of stellar drift indicates that current time outside Earth being approximately 1,714 years after the last transmission. Several hundred settlements were found on the Moon, both located within lava tube tunnels and on the surface. That's a lot. That is a lot of time. Advanced thaumaturgic wards protect and reinforce these structures from the elements, with an estimated population capacity of several 100 million people. Some of these structures are visible from Earth at certain times when the sunlight is reflected off the towers of surface settlements. Urban sprawl was observed on Venus and Mars, which have been terraformed to possess atmospheres conducive to life, vast oceans, and extensively greened surfaces. A large collection of anomalous objects have been used to achieve this, the majority of which are wholly unknown to the Foundation. Tens of thousands of space stations were discovered. These were located at various points of orbit around the Sun, ranging from habitats closer to the Sun than Mercury to outposts scattered throughout the Kuiper Belt. The largest such station discovered is comparable in size to the dwarf planet Ceres, which itself is a hollowed-out settlement. Foundation insignia were found to be present on structures identified as administrative centers and buildings, as well as conventional sites and areas. Recovered documents confirm that the Foundation or a successor organization serves as the governing body of the solar system. Administration of individual planets and moons is delegated to satrapies, while interplanetary space was governed by khedives of major space stations. Earth was surrounded by a large fleet of advanced spacefaring vessels, all of which were identifiable as Foundation spacecraft by their insignia. Further investigations indicate all 400,000 vessels were primed to engage with an unidentified threat, but did not enter combat. Notably, all turrets, cannons, and armaments were aimed away from the planet and into empty space. No signs of animal life have been detected within the solar system outside of Earth's atmosphere. All off-world communication terminals display the identical transmission of uncertain origin attached below. Terminal, we receive you. And that's the end of that one. And I hate to do this to you guys, but I need to take a quick bathroom break. So I am going to place you guys on our transition screen and set you up with a little bit of an ad break. It'll be just 3 minutes, and then I will be right back. All right. Perfect timing. The ad break is just about done. And there we are. Let's bring you guys back. Much better. Thank you guys for waiting. That one was an interesting one. I feel like that could be a pretty good movie. Like if they did it right. Not make it all like big blockbuster action, but if they do like a slow burn with it, I think that could be really good. SCP somewhat reminded you of the 682 tale, Stars Fading, but I linger on Tear. Yeah, I'm not... Is that... When you say 682 tale, is that like related to an SCP? Or is that something else? Oh my gosh. What is that pineapple on the pizza, Nuria? I would try pineapple on pizza, but the thing is, every time I have pizza, I want to make it something that I'm, actually gonna enjoy, and I don't know if I'd like pineapple on pizza, so I just stick with, what I already know usually. Should also check out 5618. It's a very short one. Let me do a quick peek at it. Otherwise, I do have another short one to do. Alright, let's do quick search. Also, it's a tale that features the SCP. Oh, okay. So it's just like, just kind of like a side story that uses it then. Okay, 5681. Let's have a quick look. Oh, 18, sorry. 5618. The Dead End. That does sound intriguing. I think this one is a lot more interesting visually. Jemmy says hi. Hi, Jemmy. Let me get your hydrate real quick, Mew. I think we'll go with the short one that I had planned, and then we're gonna save the 3 connected ones. Well, at least vaguely connected for another time. And then we'll keep 5618 in the roster also for the next time we do one of these. So let's give a look at SCP-66 today. So for this one, we have an image here. Let me show you guys real quick. And this is SCP-66 prior to Incident 66-2. Just typical yarn looking item. So now let's move into our actual entry. SCP-066. Object class, formerly safe protist. Currently Euclid impetus. Special containment procedures were formerly SCP-66 is to be kept in a safe deposit box at Site-21. Personnel level 2 or higher may perform experiments on 66 after filing the relevant request forms. Researchers may log their results in Experiment Log 66 Beta. Currently, the special containment procedures are as follows. SCP-66 is to be kept in a tungsten carbide box. in Site-21's high-value item storage facility. Once every month, this box must be manually inspected for damage to the interior. If damage is present, SCP-66 must be moved to a new box. This task is performed via a robotic arm capable of performing the task in under 3 seconds. Description: SCP-66 is an amorphous mass of braided yarn and ribbon weighing approximately 1 kilogram. Strands of SCP-66 may be taken individually and manipulated. When this is done, a note on the diatonic scale CDEFGAB is produced by the object. When a set of 6 or more notes are produced, SCP-66 will produce a, formerly believed to be benign, effect of varying nature and duration. SCP-66 will not respond to manipulation while any effect produced by it is in progress. Prior to Incident 66-2, results have included 1. SCP-66 transformed into a small calico kitten for 17 minutes. This kitten exhibited significant friendliness and playfulness and appeared to be declawed. Number 2. A song lasting 4 minutes. Acoustic guitar with vocal accompaniment by singer-songwriter redacted. The lyrics warned the listener not to use sharp objects without parental supervision. Number 3. A small cupcake. Chocolate with chocolate frosting and a lit candle stuck in the top. Notably, the tones produced prior to this effect corresponded to the opening notes of Happy Birthday. SCP-66 became responsive after said cupcake was consumed. Incident 66-2. On April 18, 2008, D664437 was instructed to use a pair of scissors to remove a portion of SCP-66 for testing. However, when he began to cut it, SCP-66 rolled 1 meter away from him before stopping and making an unidentified squeaking sound. Before he could be provided with further instruction, D664437 attempted to cut it again. SCP-66 rolled away and produced the phrase, "Are you Eric?" in response. After D664437 replied in the negative, SCP-66 morphed into its present state and began emitting loud, dissonant staccato notes until D664437 was escorted from the room. And then I will show you guys the picture of SCP-66 in its current state. Note that the eyes are capable of swiveling to track movement and light sources. Let me show you guys that. So that is what it currently looks like. Eyeballs. Yeah, it's kind of cute in a, disturbing way. After Incident 66-2, SCP-66 began to exhibit behavior highly inconsistent with its previous properties. SCP-66 now displays significant mobility, primarily in the form of being able to move tentacular portions of itself at very high speed, while SCP-66 is either unable or unwilling to use this ability for transportation. It will occasionally attempt to damage its containment by rubbing its strands against the side of the box, gradually wearing it down. This process appears to be unusually effective for the materials in consideration. Additionally, SCP-66 will automatically produce notes and effects in the presence of any human, regardless of whether that human interacts with SCP-66. This process takes a minimum of 6 seconds. In the aftermath of Incident 66-2, effects produced by SCP-66 have included the following. 1. A single bee was released near the containment, stinging D-4436 before flying away. The bee was not captured. It is unknown how the bee survived. Number 2. Beethoven's Second Symphony was played at over 140 decibels, causing permanent deafness in 3 personnel and permanent hearing damage in 8 others. Number 3. The room containing SCP-66 experienced a sudden and complete absence of light for 5 hours. Personnel in the room reported hearing loud breathing behind their shoulders, although no source was apparent. When it is not producing anomalous effects, SCP-66 will say the name Eric constantly in a deep masculine voice. Footnote: SCP-66 consistently destroys any recording devices placed inside its containment box. And that's the end of SCP-66. And that about ends our time as well. So I hope you all enjoyed the stories. Let me bring you guys closer. You've been so far away from me this whole time. I haven't given you any sort of like head pats and face traces and stuff. I've missed you. You've been all the way over there. But I hope you all enjoyed the stories. Like I said, I do find it a little harder to narrate more dry academic entries like that. I feel like I do a lot better with more narrative things where I can put a little more emotion into them. Pieman, will you be streaming tomorrow? I will be streaming tomorrow. And thanks for bringing it up, because we are actually going to be doing our Monday and Wednesday streams later than we usually do. So for Monday, we'll start an hour later, and that will be that's currently reflected on both the Discord schedule and the schedule that's shown on the Twitch channel. So we will start 3 hours before current time tomorrow. Normally we would start at 2 my time. We'll start at 3 my time instead. And we're gonna test that out, see if it has any change with viewership, what kind of people we get in stream. We're just gonna see if it fits better. But yeah, tomorrow we will hopefully be streaming with Cosmic, and we will be doing some I'm not sure exactly what to expect from them, but Cosmic says they're really good. They're these couple of worlds where we're going to be going through a facility trying to get things back online or something. And I think in at least one of them, we're going to have to shoot some creatures, but we'll also have things kind of chasing after us. So it sounds like a lot of fun. It's a really nice looking world. We kind of scoped it out together before. I'm excited to do it with you guys. I didn't go any further once we got to a certain part because I wanted to go in as blind as I could for it. Derpy, so a magic ball of yarn that became hostile once it realized it's not with its owner. It's kind of sad. It just misses Eric. I do wonder about Eric, though. that's the thing I like most about the SCP articles is what it leaves to your imagination. The things that kind of give you a lot of details, those don't resonate as well as the ones that, just kind of plant a seed in your head and let you ponder the rest of it. That's what I really like. Nate, is Eric an SCP himself then? That would be interesting if any of you SCP experts out there, if any of you know if Eric's an SCP or want to go doing some research on that, I'd be very interested to know. I'm guessing that he is not an SCP though, but if any of you find out otherwise, let me know. Derpy, maybe you should try out some SCP short tales. Don't know a lot about them, but you know that they exist. Yeah, that might be something for us to try. If/when I do another SCP night, might just have to try some of the short stories, and maybe that'll be a little more engaging for you all. The one you mentioned earlier, is pretty good. Well, send me, DM me a link to that story so I can take a look at it. Maybe that'll be something that, I'll just read on a normal creepypasta night. It'll just be one of our fireside creepypastas. Because we don't have to make a whole night specifically for SCPs, it's kind of just what I've done. Cat night. Yeah, we'll definitely keep cat night in mind too. Oh, that reminds me. I was thinking about, I've kind of been thinking of fun things to do for October with, Halloween, spooky season, all that stuff. And I kind of thought it might be fun if some of you guys sent in spooky stories, spooky personal accounts or whatever, kind of like we did one time way back. And I could read them out loud one of these Sundays. Might be fun. If you're interested, go ahead and send me your creepy accounts and I'll consider. I don't know for sure if I'll do it, but I thought it might be kind of fun. We could also just, do it on a normal day when we're just chatting or whatever. Lethal Company update potentially. Yeah, we haven't played Lethal Company for a while. I don't have any immediate plans for a Lethal Company stream, but I'll put it on my radar. I've definitely been leaning more into the VR chat side of things, not doing the desktop games quite as much. Seems like the VR chat stuff tends to resonate a little better with people. But anyway, let's go ahead and call it for the night, and I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed our SCP entries tonight, and if not, I'm sorry. We'll try again next time. We're here every Sunday telling spooky stories. And I'm trying to think if there's any announcements. I don't think so. We already went over the time thing, so I think we're good. Derpy, even if these SCPs have been pretty wordy, it's still nice to listen to you narrate them. Aw, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel sometimes too. I'll listen to some narrations from other people, and I might kind of like tune out of the story, but I still like to hear their voices in the background. So even if you weren't interested in the stories, I hope you at least, for whatever reason, found some interest in me rambling on. All right, I gotta go eat some dinner. I'm hungry. I hope you all do the same. Eat some good food. Stay hydrated. Take care of yourselves and each other. I love y'all. And I will see you tomorrow or next time or whenever. Hopefully not never, but if you never want to come back, that's fine too. Whatever is right for you. All right. Bye, everyone.